Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My dear students, I hope that everything is going fine with you. According to the current conditions, we have to move entirely to online learning. And let's continue with Unit 8 under the title of How the Body Works. We have a new grammatical rule under the title of passive. Let's study what is passive and when do we use passive. But before that, let's look at these examples. Example number 1, Ali opened the door. Example number 2, the door was opened. What is the difference between the first example and the second example? If we look at the first example, we will find a simple sentence which consists of subject plus verb plus object. Ali opened the door. Then in the second example, we started by the object. Then we use was, verb to be in the past form, and then the past participle. The door was opened. This is the active form and this is the passive form. Now the question is, when do we use passive? We use passive when we don't know who does the action, or we don't care who does it, or we know who does the action but we don't want to say. Again, we use the passive when we don't know who does the action, or we don't care who does it, or we know who does the action but we don't want to say. Now, let's have more examples. Number 1, our eye is controlled. Of course, it is controlled by something. Example number 2, Dad's car was stolen. Of course, it was stolen by someone. Number 3, a cup has been broken. And number 4, her eyes will be protected. Now let's move to the rule. The rule is that we have 4 tenses to change from active to passive. Our grammatical rule is the first tense is present simple. And how can we change present simple active into passive? We have to start with the object, then we use is or are, and then we use the past participle. By the end of the sentence, we can use the subject preceded by, but it is not a must. Then past simple passive, we start by the object, then we use was or were, and then we use past participle. Present perfect passive, we start by the object, then has or have, then been, then past participle. And the last tense is future simple passive. We start by the object, then we use will, then verb to be, then past participle. Your book, you will find more and more examples. If you read this text, the examples are written in bold for you, so you have to read this text for 2 or 3 times. Now, remember, we use the passive when we have 3 cases. We don't know who does the action. We don't care who does the action. We know who does the action, but we don't want to say. Dad's car was stolen by someone. He is a thief. The painting will be sold. A window has been broken, and so on. There is an important note we have to take into consideration. We also use the passive when the person or thing that does the action is important or significant. The town has been damaged by a violent storm. The passive here equals verb to be plus past participle. And finally, by the end of this lesson, we have a list of 6 verbs. You have to write an example for them in the present simple form, and then you have to change from present simple active into present simple passive. This is all for our lesson today. I hope that you will all understand. Take care and bye for now.